Alright guys, for this lesson we're going to be looking at the difference between contours and cross contours as it relates to your drawings. A contour is nothing more than an outline of the object you're drawing, where cross contours are more three-dimensional guidelines that give you additional information as to what's going on within the object. Let's take a look at this example. If I draw just the outline of the object, that would be a contour drawing of the object. As you can see on this drawing, this is just a basic outline of the object. Doesn't give you a lot of information about the object, and it is very two-dimensional. Okay, now we're going to draw the object again, but this time we're going to use cross contour lines to help us make the object look more three-dimensional. To better show what cross contours look like in reality, I made this simple little demonstration. When you look at this object, this would be a representation of cross contour lines. As you can see, you've got straight lines coming across, but when they hit the object, they have to wrap around the object and then return to being straight. You can see that happening with all of the lines. The vertical lines are straight. They follow the edges of the bottle and is represented by the liquid inside of the bottle. So now let's take a look at what that would look like in the drawing itself. Let's say that the line is coming this way and it's straight. It would disappear behind the bottle and reappear on the opposite side. But the line within the bottle has to go around, so I have to curve this line from the starting point to the finishing point on the bottle to make that line look like it's going around the bottle. I have to do that with all of the lines that are going in this direction. Same thing would be for the third line. Notice how I grazed the top of the bottle just so that I know where the ending point is going to be. So I vary the pressure and draw very lightly as I go through the bottle. Once I establish my starting and my finishing point, then I go back and I add the curved line that represents the thickness of the bottle. For the bottom part, I have to make this line go around because it's not straight. It's actually more of an oval. The shoulder of the bottle also has to curve, and the top of the bottle has to curve. So as you can see, just by adding a few cross contour lines in the proper direction, already this object looks much more three-dimensional than the first one. The key to remember is that these are guidelines, three-dimensional guidelines. You're not always going to see them in the final product, but they will help you add patterns, textures, and values so that they follow the three-dimensional forms of the object being drawn. Now, if the lines are going in a perpendicular direction for this particular drawing, they would just be straight. They follow the edges of the bottle. They're parallel to the edges of the bottle. So you can see here, I'm drawing this parallel to the left edge. And when I get to the base of the bottle, then I drop down because that's the flat part of the bottle. So as I mentioned before, cross contours are essentially just three-dimensional guidelines. Now you don't always see them when you look at an object, so the best way to learn how to do this is to practice drawing real objects, because then you can feel the object and try to get a feel for, where the depressions are, where the bumps are, etc. Ideally, you want to be going at least two different directions, um, and that'll be a good stopping point for this assignment.